Have you ever wondered how big kingdoms actually are in Super Mario Odyssey? I mean, we know that some of them are big, but how big are they exactly? Well, today is your lucky day because I am going to be measuring every kingdom in actual real-life measurements. However, you might be wondering how I'm even going to do this. Well, let me explain. So, I'm sure you remember Luigi Balloon World. You know, the thing that was fun for a few minutes and then just... yeah. Well, we can use its in-game meter counter to measure the area of each kingdom. By placing a balloon on the edge of the map and then going to that opposite side of the map, we can measure the distance between Mario and the balloon. Then we do the same thing for west to east, multiply those two values, and bam, we get the area of that kingdom. However, this method is not just very time consuming, but also quite inaccurate. So that's why I came up with a different approach. Instead of doing it this way, we can just use the map of each kingdom to measure the area. If we know how much a meter is on this map, then we can calculate the distance from south to north and west to east. Then we multiply the two values and bam, we get the area of that kingdom. To find how much a meter is on this map, or actually 100 meters since I think that's going to be easier to work with, I went to Metro Kingdom on my alt account and placed a balloon right here. Then I switched to my main account, selected the balloon I just hit with my alt account, and walked as straight as I possibly could until I reached about a 100 meter distance between Mario and the balloon, and concluded that about this much corresponds to 100 meters on the map. Now we can stack multiple of these lines from south to north, then we do the same thing for west to east, multiply those two values, and we find out that the mainland of Metro Kingdom, including this part, is about 4.3 hectares, or for all of you US folks out there, that's about 10.6 acres. Acres? I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm not American. Also, I'm using hectares / acres instead of square kilometers / square miles, since in this case, it's just easier to work with. Now, hold on a second. What about these little floating platforms that a lot of kingdoms have? Am I just going to completely ignore them? Well, no, I'll just do it like in real life. I'll first measure the area of the mainland, which in this case, I already did. Then I'll measure the area of each floating platform independently, add all those areas up, and we now have the full area of Metro Kingdom. So after doing all these calculations, we can conclude that the full area of Metro Kingdom is about 4.5 hectares, or 11.1 acres. For comparison, that's about as big as 6 football fields. Now, I do want to say that I'm rounding these numbers up or down, so the results are not 100% accurate. But the point of this video is more to give you guys an idea of how big kingdoms actually are in this game, so please don't hate me. Oh, okay, great. Now I gotta do the exact same thing for 16 more kingdoms. I'll be right back. Okay, so I actually ran into a pretty big problem. I realized that the scale of each map is not the same. For instance, Cloud Kingdom is actually portrayed much bigger than it actually is. Meaning, if I would just go ahead and measure this, it wouldn't be accurate since, again, the scale isn't accurate. And you might be wondering, well, why don't you just use Balloon World in this kingdom and then remeasure it? Well, I can't because Cloud Kingdom doesn't have Balloon World. So yeah, I was actually about to give up on weeks, if not months of work, until the legendary and only Lekelamega proposed me a solution. So he told me that if I place myself 100 meters in front of the balloon, for example here in Metro Kingdom since it has Balloon World, and then measure how long it takes me to walk until I reach that balloon, I could measure the area in Cloud Kingdom by walking in a straight line for a certain amount of time. For example, if it takes me 10 seconds to walk 100 meters in a straight line, then I can just walk in a straight line for 10 seconds in a kingdom that doesn't have Balloon World, like Cloud Kingdom for example. Thus making it possible to measure the distance from south to north and also from west to east. Then I can multiply these two values, and after converting that to hectares / acres, we get the area of that kingdom. Now, just like my other methods, this obviously isn't very accurate, especially because timing it right is quite impossible. But again, it's just to give you guys an idea on how big kingdoms actually are in this game, so delete that comment right now. So again, huge shout out to Lekelamega for low-key helping me out with this. Anyways, let's get back to work. Okay, so after a couple of hours of suffering, I finally got all the results I needed. I'm not gonna go through every single kingdom since there are like 17 kingdoms and most of them are just uninteresting and similar to other kingdoms in size. So I'll just go over the most interesting ones. The biggest kingdom in Mario Odyssey is Sand Kingdom with an area of about 30 hectares or 74 acres. That is pretty damn huge. For comparison, that's bigger than the largest stadium in the world, which, fun fact, is located in North Korea. Why, Kim? Your people can't even afford a fucking piece of bread. However, Sun Kingdom is not quite as big as Vatican City. Yeah, we were close. Good try, Nintendo. Now, when it comes to the smallest kingdom in Mario Odyssey, things get a little more interesting. You see, the Mario Wiki states that Cloud Kingdom is the smallest kingdom in Mario Odyssey. And while that is technically true, when it comes to just the surface area, which is what we've been calculating throughout this entire video, then the smallest kingdom is actually Ruin Kingdom, with an area of about 0.8 hectares or 2 acres. That's about the size of one football field. I think the reason why the Mario Wiki states that Cloud Kingdom is the smallest kingdom is because Ruin Kingdom has this huge wire thing that connects this piece of land with this piece of land. And if you were to include include that, then yeah, Ruined Kingdom is bigger than Cloud Kingdom. However, Cloud Kingdom is still quite small, with an area of about 1.4 hectares or 3.5 acres, so almost double the size of Ruined Kingdom. And finally, because I also have this kingdom in the thumbnail, the Mushroom Kingdom is about 10.1 hectares or 25 acres, so pretty average when it comes to size. Yeah, that's basically all I have to offer. Please subscribe. This video took me ages to make.